ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वम् यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम् कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे। असूर्यानामते लोका असूर्यानामते लोका अन्धेन तमसावृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये केचात्महनो जनाः अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो अन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा ददाति तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहः कः शोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यत सपर्यगाच्छुक्रम् अकायमवृणम् अस्नाविरम् शुद्धम् अपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभूः स्वयम्भूः याथातत्यतोऽर्थान् व्यदधात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः अन्धन्तमप्रविशन्ति ये विद्यामुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य विद्यायागुम् रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्विद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुम धीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे विद्याम् च यस्तद्वेदोभयगम् सः अविद्ययाम् मृत्युम् तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते अन्धन्तमप्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य सम्भूत्यागुम् रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्सम्भवात् अन्यदाहुरसम्भवात् इति शुश्रुम धीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे सम्भूतिम् च विनाशम् च यस्तद्वेदोभयगम् सः विनाशेन मृत्युम् तीर्त्वा सम्भूत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितम् मुखम् तत्त्वम् पूषन्नपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूषन् एकऋषे यमः सूर्यप्राजापत्य व्यूहरश्मिन् समूह तेजो यत्ते रूपम् कल्याणतमम् तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसावसौ पुरुषः सोऽहमस्मि योऽसावसौ पुरुषः सोऽहमस्मि वायुर्अनिलम् अमृतम् अथेदम् भस्मान्तगम् शरीरम् ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मात् जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम ईशिता सर्वभूतानाम् सर्वभूतमयश्च यः ईशावास्येन सम्बोध्यम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् हरि ओम्
Thank you, Nitya.
Thank you, Bindu.
So we'll start the Upanishad today. नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शान्तिमन्त्रम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We saw that from the beginning first verse Isavasimidam Sarvam till the 8th mantra, there was a theme which was being developed. First was talking about renunciation. Second one was for those who cannot do the renunciation or detachment. For them, kurvanneva karmani. So they have to continue to do the karma. And then we found that Atma was given an indicative Lakshana Vakyas through which Atma was defined. Tade jadi tanne jadi, all those mantras which we saw that. It culminated with the seventh and sixth and seventh mantra where, it said, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva vijanataha tatra ko moha kvasyoga ekatva manipashyata. And that was some sort of a, phalashruti or the benefit of doing atma upasana or atmegatva vijnana. And that tendency to objectify atma was removed in the 8th mantra when it says Saparyagat. So he is the one which is everywhere. And then the three bodies, Sushma, Stula, Karana, Sharira. The subtle, the gross and the causal bodies is not of Atma. No, but we think that we are the bodies of Sushma, Karana, Sharira. So why this was mentioned was because when we objectify, we keeping our body as the object, as the individuality or the ego. And when we start objectifying, even though the Atma is our real nature, we try to objectify Atma as something which is to be attained or, achieved. But it is a praptasya prapti. It is already our nature. We don't have to achieve that. all we have to do is removal of the ignorance which is now is in clutch of us and thinking that we are the body of the, nature of the body and etc. So the question is being asked, Kadam punarevam avagamyate natu sarvesham iti. How do you say that the opponent is asking, how do you know that this is not for, these mantras are not for everyone? Those who are doing the Vaidika karmas and the upasanas and the jnana portion, or for all of them. So Shankaracharya has dealt in detail in the end of the previous mantra towards where he has mentioned that why it is not for those people who are into karma and upasana. There is a general tendency among the less informed, I would say the word less informed, that Shankaracharya is against karma and upasana and is only talking about sannyasa and renunciation and the jnana marga. While he has a agenda of exemplifying jnana as the only antidote for our problems in life, because samsara or the problems of life is due to ajnana, and ajnana means ignorance, and for ignorance the only antidote is knowledge, and knowledge of our true self. Our ignorance is the reason why we are thinking that we are the body, we are the mind, we are intellect, etc., including the ego. But when we know that, when we scrutinize that using the Upanishadic mantras, we know that we are neither of them. We are neither the gross body, nor the subtle body, nor the causal body, nor the mano, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, or the ego. None of them are them, because we can objectify them and see them as how they are operating. Therefore, we are different from them. Tebhyo vilakshana sakshi chinmatro ham sadashivam. So we are that witness consciousness which can witness and objectify, including our ego and mind and intellect, etc. So there is a tendency for people, when Shankaracharya is harping upon this, knowledge is the only antidote for the ignorance and problems in life. He is denying the importance of karma and upasana. So he is not doing that. There is definitely adhikari veda, or the capacity of the aspirant or the student, which can be called at the lower, middle and the higher. So uttama, madhyama and kanishta. This is the Sanskrit words for it. So he is recommending that jnana marga is only for the uttamadhikari, who can renounce everything, including his Eshana Tyaga, that is the three Eshanas, Vitteshana, Putreshana, Lokeshana, that is for the progeny, for the wealth and for the Loka, that different worlds which you achieve through the karmas. So, he is advocating Jnana Marga, who can do the renunciation of all sorts, Sarva Sangha Parityagi. For rest of the people, he is not recommending this at all. In fact, in many of his commentaries, you will find that he is recommending Karma Kanda because he is one of those people who brought in back the Karma Kanda back to popularity, pushing away the Buddhist philosophers who said that the Vedas are creating the ahimsa for the sacrifice. They are killing animals and all those things. So that is why a lot of people moved out of Hinduism and went as followers of Buddhism, thinking that is that because Hinduism, in the yajna, there were animal sacrifice very popular those days. So Shankaracharya, when he brought back those Veda, the Karma Kanda and the Upasana, he insisted upon the concomitance or the combination of the karma kanda, the rituals along with upasana. So that is what is the theme of the 9th, 10th and 11th mantras of the Upanishad. This particular Upanishad. That is why he has written a preamble for that in the end of the previous mantra. So I'm not going into that because it is highly technical in the sense that Devam, Vittam, Vishayam, Devata Vishayam, it's all those technical terms I need to explain for you to understand. But to put it in a nutshell, he is saying that Karmakanda alone is not going to fetch the result because Karmakanda has got two aspects of it, that is Sakama and Nishkama. The Sakama means with the desire and Nishkama is by in the form of sacrifice or by devoting that into a higher pedestal or an altar. But what happens is that Karmakanda is always has got Vedic injunction saying that Putra Kamo Yajeda. One who wants a putra or a son, he should do a yaga, Putra Kameshti yaga. There is a name for that. So everywhere there is a kama involved, including up to the Devaloka Prapti or Brahmaloka Prapti, there is a kamana or the desire in the Karmakanda. So Karmakanda alone will not suffice for achieving the permanent goal of moksha. Karmakanda has got anga kandas, anga yajnas or the subsidiary yajnas where the result is not mentioned, but it forms a part of the main yajna itself. Therefore, the main yajna and the subordinate yajna together becomes a combined unit, even though the subordinate yajna has no separate result given in it. So when you combine these two, it is the main yajna which is the result, giving the result of the total, both the main and the subordinate yajna put together. Now then there is this upasana or the what you call upasana in upasana is where you do the appreciation, appreciation to devatas or gods, so that these devata, right from the Pitruloka onwards to Brahmaloka, that is from the ancestral world to the Devaloka, Indraloka, and all those different lokas are there mentioned in the Shastras. So the final one is Hiranyagarbha Loka or the Brahmaloka. But all of them have got upasana as the means of it. But what happens is that this is what the theme of the 9th, 10th and 11th mantras which I am going to deal with today is that the upasana, when it is done, there is again a kamana for it or a desire to achieve certain lokas or the state of liveliness in the Pitruloka or Brahmaloka, up to Brahmaloka. So if you want to be an Indra, you have to do certain type of upasana. If you want to become a Varuna Loka, then you have to do a certain upasana. Like that up to Brahmaloka. But what happens is that these are all time bound in the anything which is achieved through the karmas. Whether it is a karma kanda or upasana kanda, these are all with the desires. And desires are to achieve after death. Because punya is the result of a good dharmic action, whether it is upasana or karma. But it is a result of an action, both the upasana and the karma, they are bound with the time-space limitation, and therefore, at the end of the time of the period up to which you have been destined to enjoy a particular world, Shrine Punye Martyalogam Vishandi. After Punya becomes Shrina means exhausted, Martyalogam Vishandi, you come back to the this world where human life is possible to do the karma and upasana. This going up and coming down, gadagatam. Gadagatam means going up and going to this world and coming back. This keeps on continuing until which, the human life, when you get fed up of going this life again and again, then the desire to get a permanent release from this arises in the mind of a human being. And that is the time when he looks around that I have been doing the karma and been doing the upasana for such a long time. Till then, I have not been able to find a permanent happiness or permanent escape from the world of miseries. Even the world lokas where there are miseries, because devas are being attacked by asuras. So there are current wars going on. Even the life of the Brahma Loka, which is the ultimate Hiranyagarbha, is limited because when the kalpa is over, the cycle of the time is over, everything is in a deluge and the cycle starts again. So what happens is that then again the cycle starts for them. So what happens in the process is that the person who takes birth, after going up and down on this world, he comes to a conclusion that Pariksha Yogan Karmachitan Brahmana Nirvedamaya Nasti Akrita Kritena Tad Vijnanartham Sa Gurumeva Bigachet Samitpani Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. We heard this in the Mundaka Upanishad. Those who have having done all the karmas, whether it is Vishnu or Shiva or Brahma or any Hiranyagarbha or whatever may be the loka you are doing it, there is a limitation up to which you will be able to enjoy the Salukyam, Sayujyam, Samipyam. These are the type of, the pedestals or the posts given when you achieve the certain lokas. Either you are close by or you are become one with it, and then like that there are different levels of achievement due to the different of the punya work you do it. So that is the punya phala of the karma, whether it is karma phala or the upasana phala. So from the Pitraloka to Devaloka is what is achieved by this. And the one who now comes to this Nirvedamaya Nasti Akrita Kritena, all the krita or the karmas have only fetched me what is limited in time and space. So I am looking for an eternal happiness and eternal being one with that eternity or the permanent truth. The truth is the one which never changes, which is eternal in nature. So I want to become one with the truth. So to achieve that oneness with the truth, I also need to do something which is not within the time and space, which is only possible in the Jnana Marga, as that is what Shankaracharya has been harping upon. So the mistake or the misunderstood or knowledge was that Shankaracharya was against karma and upasana and was only harping upon the Jnana Marga. While his predominance was Jnana Marga, he never decried the Karma Kanda or the Upasana Kanda because they have got their own importance for the Madhyama and Adama Adhikari, or the middle and the lower aspirants who are not mentally or intellectually fit to pursue the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. So you need to have an open mind and without inhibition. When you go to a guru and surrender yourself without any inhibition or looking at the quality of the guru or the type of the guru or anything, he is only interested in the teaching of the guru. Such a person is in direct connection with the teaching rather than with the individual. So Samitpani, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So he is the one who has established himself in the Brahman, and he is well versed in the Shastra, so that he guides you using Shastra to the Brahma, and the Brahman knowledge arises in the listener or the student instantaneously. Shravana Samakale Eva Jnanam. That is how the knowledge is imparted by such a guru. So this is the background with which we should understand here. Now, as I told you, this being one of the first Upanishads or the oldest Upanishad we have in our hand, there was a commentary by one Bhaskaracharya before Shankaracharya. Now, the theme of that was, even though it was Advaita, that Bhaskaracharya erred or made a mistake in his commentary while giving the commentaries for the 9th, 10th and 11th mantra, where Vidya was being mentioned. And then there he mentioned about the Jnana Karma Samuchaya, means Jnana and Karma can go together, which Shankaracharya is very vehemently opposing, because Jnana is Vastutantra, whereas Karma is Kartrutantra. The reason between Vastutantra and Karma Tantra, I have explained it earlier, but for the benefit of all, I am repeating it again. Jnana is only exposing an object or a nature of an object as it is. It is not a product of an action or a creation where something new is being exposed or divulged. For example, a fire, when it is being mentioned as a fire, the fire with its qualities of light and the heat is what is being explained by the word fire, and that can be explained or, transmitted the knowledge. And once the knowledge takes place, a person who knows what is fire, he knows when he sees an object with light and heat that this is the fire, what has been told by the word fire. Same way, when the Upanishad mantras are used by the Brahmanishta Guru, what is the nature of Brahman, which was being mentioned in the earlier verses up to the verse 9, Natejati, Nade, Anejat, onwards to the last mantra, Saparyagat, that the mantra, where the nature of Brahman has been given, that shows the very clear nature of Brahman, and Brahman is known by the quality of Brahman, or not the quality, as it is a Vastu. Vastu means an object. We are all objects, but we mistake our object as the egoistic object. But when we see that we are not the egoistic object, we know our true nature of the object, what we are, encapsulated in this body and functioning as individuals, but our real nature of Atma or Brahman is not limited to the encapsulated body, but it is the one which I am seeing, Yattasu Atmaiva Bhut. So one who has become one Atma, he sees himself in everything and everything in him. So he is the one who now crosses the boundary of the encapsulated body and identifies himself with the Satyat Ananda or Satyant Jnanam Anandam Brahma, the nature of the Brahman. So what happens is that when that is being told, we are using terms called Vidya and Avidya in the normal sense that Vidya is knowledge, Avidya is ignorance. Whereas in the verse 9, 10 and 11, the word Vidya and Avidya is being used in a totally different meaning, where Vidya means is Upasana, or Jnanam is another word used for the Upasana in the archaic Sanskrit. Jnanam also is used. Tayoho Jnana Karmanayoho Ekaka Anushtana Ninda Samuchayisha Na Ninda Pareva Ekasya Pratak Lakshanam Vidyaya Tad Arohanti Vidyaya Devalokaha. So Vidya Devalokaha is the word used in the Shastra, which shows that the word Vidya is used for Upasana, because Devaloka is a result of what is called Upasana. So Vidya Devaloka, when it is being mentioned, it very clearly shows the word Vidya is indicating Upasana. Same way, Jnana Karmanayoho. So the word is used as Jnana Karmanayoho. There, the jnana and karma is being again used. The word jnana karma is not jnana and karma. This is where Bhaskaracharya made a mistake of making the samuchaya or the combination of jnana and karma. But the word jnana is used in the meaning of Vidyaya. Vidyaya means jnana, means upasana. Upasana karmanoho is the word which should be the way in which it should be described. Whereas Bhaskaracharya took that as jnana karma, whereas it is Vidyaya and Vidya and karma which should be understood. So keeping this in mind, we are now enter the 9th mantra, which says that Andam tamaha pravishanti ye avidyam upasate tataha bhuya iva te tamo yau vidyayam rataha. So what does it say that? It here says that ye avidyam vidyaya anya means avidya means it is opposite of vidya, or anya means not opposite. That is the difference where the Bhaskaracharya's definition, translation or commentary had made a mistake. It is called a vritti. Bhaskara vritti, Bhaskaracharya's vritti, which has been lost now. Only Anandagiri's commentary refers to that. We don't know where the Anandagiri got to read it and what happened to that particular commentary. It is lost in history. So, Vidya Anya Avidya. That is separate from Vidya is Avidya. Karmaha ityartaha. So, Shankaracharya says that it means karmaha. Karmanoho vidya virodatvad. The reason why it is that karma is vidya virodha. It is the opposite of upasana. In the upasana, we don't have the karma like the Vidhi Nisheda of the Vedic injunctions. Upasana is more of a mental action. There also its action is there, but it is not the Vaidika action or Veda Vihida action. So, tam vidyam agnihotradi lakshanam eva kevalam upasate tatparaha. So, those who are interested, the middle and the lower people who are either into the karma kanda or the upasana kanda, they will be doing agnihotradi lakshanam. Agnihotra is one yaga which is being done for the purpose of the Indraloka. So those who are doing this type of Veda Vihida karma or Veda injunction by the Vedas, they will be doing Agnihotradi. And they will get them tatparaha, means they rataha, means they will be happy with that. Santushtanti iti abhiprayaha. Tadaha tasmat andatmakat tamasaha bhuya iva bahureva te tamha pravishanti. Now here, the meaning is slightly difficult to understand from Shankaracharya's Bhashya, but the meaning is like this. Those who are not doing upasana without nishkama karma or as a offering to the altar, but even like going to the temple or church or anywhere and saying that God, I want this, I want that. You are telling to God, but you are asking for something which is kamana, which is a desire. So whenever you are doing with the desire, it is these people who will go to a darker hell or darker tamas. Tamas means darkness. So they will be going to higher darkness than those who are doing Veda Vihida karmas. But Veda Vihida karmas also, those who are doing without with the right attitude for the karma upasana, there are upasanas which have to be coupled with the karma kanda of the Veda. If you don't do that, even those people will go to the darker darkness. So that is what tato bhuya ivato tamo. So those are the people who are going to a darker, place those who are without doing things. Now in the modern scenario, this is what is being given in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna also, where he is saying that Nishkama Karma, that is Karma Sannyasa, what he is talking about. In the third chapter onwards, Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa onwards, what he is mentioning is that the devotion or devoting the actions, we are not doing Vedic actions anymore, Agnihotradi, none of us are doing it. But we are all doing our Swabhavika or the natural actions for our livelihood. But when we are doing livelihood also, we don't have an attitude of devotion to the Almighty who is providing us the sunlight and the water and the air free of cost, because of which the plants and the animals are also able to survive in the world, and then the food cycle is maintained. We do not have this attitude of thanksgiving. We once in a year giving a thanksgiving is not the way in which we think. Maybe even every dinner table we may be giving a thanksgiving. But no, Pratibodha Viditam Madam, every activity we are able to do is only due to that presence of the Almighty in us as Brahman or Atman. It is that which should be our place to which we should be devoting our actions. I am not doing for my ego, whereas I am devoting my action for the Atma in myself, which is the prime mover for me to do the actions. Without the Atma, I am a dead body. And as a dead body, I can do nothing. Nor I will be helpful to anybody else. Even I am helping somebody, don't have the ego that I am a philanthropist or I am a Samaritan. No, you are able to do a philanthropy or a Samaritanship only because this Atma or Brahman is shining in you. So every action, Pratibodha Viditam Madam, every action of yours has to be dedicated unto the Atma or Brahman in us. It is the same Atma Brahma which is shining in the nature outside the world, because Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvancha Mai Pashyati, one who sees himself in everything and everything in himself, how he can separate himself from everything. He is the one who is seeing not Vishnu as a separate God to whom we have to do the puja and offer the sweets or the milk or the honey or the ghee, etc. It is not to the Saligrama or the Shivalinga to whom we are giving. While doing that, we may use them as pratikas or the symbols through which we are going to do the action. The action should reflect that even in that stone of the Shivalinga or the Shaligrama or the cross or the Makkah, the Kaaba in the Makkah, what we should see is our own Atma, Brahman is being reflected in those symbols which are standing for God. So whatever we are doing to them is in a way we are seeing our Atma as a pratika outside, as a symbol outside. Because we can't see our Atma because we are the Atma. So we can't see our own Atma. But when we use a symbol for that, we should see that what is shining in me is the one which is shining in this stone or in this cross or anything which I am seeing, and unto which I am hearing this thing is indirectly I am devoting that to my own Atma, who is the prime mover in me, which is helping me to do all the activity. So those who do not have this nature or the attitude towards this activity into which we are submitting, those are the people who will go to a darker place, because they are not doing it in the proper way. And the 10th mantra says, Anya Devahur Avidya, Anya Devahur Vidya, Iti Shishrumadhiranam, Ena Tat Vichachashakshire. So what is that? By Vidya means by Upasana, Anya Deva, by the other. It is said that now he is talking as Irishishruma Dhiranam. Dhiranam Demantam. Those wise people who have told us the methodology of doing this, they have very clearly mentioned that there is separatedness between the Vidya and Avidya. Anyat eva avidyaya. Ahu means they have said. Anyadeva avidyaya. So the results of, here you should use the phalam. So vidya phalam anyadeva, avidya phalam anyadeva. Iti ahu. This is the way in which the wise people who transmitted the knowledge to us have told to us, Ena, naha. Naha means to asmakam. To us, tat vijakshire. How they have revealed to us by during the understanding or educating us or teaching us. So the means of Vidya and Avidya, even though they are separate, their results are also separate. Means Karmakanda or the Avidya will lead you to the phalaprapti of Karmakanda, like Agnihotra, Putra, in the Putra Kameshti, the Dhanu Kameshti, Dhana Kameshti, etc. Whereas Vidya means Pitraloka, they up to Brahmaloka is what is being given. So these are very categorically mentioned by the teachers who passed on this knowledge to us. And coming to the 11th mantra, Vidyancha avidyancha yaha tad vedaha ubayaha saha avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amrutam ashnute. Now Vidyancha avidyam saha. Now both these Vidya and Avidyam saha means you have to couple them together. And Ubaya saha, tad Veda. How he has that? Vidya mrityum tirtva. Now the word mrityu is not death here. Here the mrityu shabdavachyam is swabhavikam karma jnanam. The swabhavikam karma means our instinct, the actions driven by instinct is what is called mrityu by the world, because in the Brihadaranya Upanishads also this word mrityu comes for the karma, this thing, swabhavikam karma, as a karma jnanam, which is the instinct by vasana prerita, or by the hidden vasanas or tendencies in us, ask us to do certain, like the animalistic tendencies in us, which where we don't use the Vidya or Avidya, neither the Karmakanda which has been told in the Vedas, nor the Avidya or the Vidya which is the Upasana Kanda, or the both these things. So though Avidya mrityum tirtva, Vidya amrutam asnude. So when you make this thing to couple together, Ubayam saha, when you make the Karmakanda coupled with the Upasana Kanda, then you will move towards immortality by completing many lives. It is krama mukti. That is what is being mentioned here. Tad ubayam tirtva adikramya vidyaya devadatnyanena amrutam devadatmam ashnude prapnoti. This is where there is a kramena syadityuchyate. This krama mukti is what is being mentioned by this Vidya Amrutam Ashnude. But when you do this as given by the Nishkama Karma or the selfless actions given in the Shastras, then where you do the karma as ordained by the Shastra and your devotion which I have mentioned earlier, if you both couple them together, then what happens is that you will go slowly. Of course, after many births, you will know that you are not able to achieve the permanent result and you will move towards the Jnana Marga. The Jnana Marga is that sannyasa. Jnana sannyasayor abhedatvat. Jnanam sannyasam. There is no difference between the two when it comes to Atma Jnana. So that is where the movement will take place in the Krama Mukti, or that is the. But those who are avidya, those who are doing by this without without the upasana coupling the karma kanda, they will be going to swabhavikan karma. They will not know the Vedic injunctions or what has been given by the Vedas, and they will be moving towards darker places, and that will lead them to an animalistic life which is called swabhavikam karma. This is the sum total of the 9th, 10th and 11th mantra. Now 11th mantra onwards, it is going to manifest and unmanifest form of upasanas. There the word sambodhim, asambodhim is being used, similar to this vidya and avidya. There the mantra number 12, 13 and 14 has to be coupled together. So that also I will be taking all the three together so that we have a continuity in the understanding, which I will do it in the next Wednesday's class. So today's thing will stop here and take the question and answer session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Thank you so much, Binduji and Nitya, for also the chanting, and everyone for being here. So in a moment, we'll open the chat and the hand raising. And if anyone would like to speak with Bindu about the class today and the topics it covered or the prior Isha classes, you're most welcome. Remember, there's also a general Q&A tomorrow in the Jata Veda house for more general Advaita questions. And anything's welcome at any stage of questioning. We'll all benefit. So it would be just very kind of people to share what's on their minds and speak with Bindu if they'd like.
The hand raising is open now.
Bindu,
Yes, please.
I was very happy when you affirmed the irrelevance of Vedic karma in today's day and age. If at our level of inner cognition, we were to follow from Sri Krishna's list of 13 yajnas listed in the 4th chapter, the one which talks about Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, would you still insist that Jnana Karma Samuchaya is an impossibility? Unless your perspective on Shankara is that he is focused on Siddhanta rather than sadhana.
See, he is not harping upon jnana alone. He very clearly says that those who are eva, tena tektena bunjita, only people who can renounce and protect himself from the objects of renunciation by seeing himself and everything in himself. Such a person with the knowledge, jnana, with the jnana, is capable of taking sannyasa and forming the marga of sannyasa. Even today's sannyasa which is being taken is not a sannyasa as per the Shankaracharya's definition. It is a compromise which is being done for the purpose of karma upasana samuchaya, through which krama mukti, or those who can get into, because they are all, most of them are into social service or that are called loka sangrahamartham, and only what they are doing it. Even Shankara has done loka sangrahartham, knowing very well that that is required at that time, because he was fighting people who have gone out of Hinduism to the Buddhist territory. So he had to bring back the Vedic culture without the sacrifice of animal sacrifice, etc. while harping upon the karma and upasana as a samuchaya possible, jnana can never be a samuchaya or a combined as jnana karma samuchaya, because parvadavat akampiha. Their jnana and karma cannot be there, because one is vastu and other is a product of an action. So a product of an action is not a vastu, it is a karma. It is a result of an action. And result of action doesn't depend upon the vastu, the action kartum agartum anyada va kartum. To do, not to do it, or to do it differently is possible in the case of an activity. Therefore, the result of the activity also will change. Whereas jnana, or the knowledge of a object, the knowledge of Atma, Brahman, cannot be altered by anybody, because you have not been able to alter your own awareness as you, but your identity as you might have gone through from childhood to today. You might have associated yourself with the different philosophies or different ideologies. But that is, again, we think, I would call it as upasana of the philosophies, but not jnana. Jnana has to be that sarvam khalidam brahma, or where vasudeva sarvam iti, or Krishna says, no, yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati. All those things have to be taken into account. Only then you can say that karma, that jnana is the real jnana.
So you still insist on renunciation the way Adi Shankara does, and not the way Krishna does, where he says, anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasanyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na cha akriya. I think you're denying that aspect of the Bhagavad Gita.
So that he has used the words as sannyasi cha yogi cha. So what does the word mean? That does mean he is not sannyasi alone. He is a yoga sannyasi. You should understand that.
So that brings about accountability of jnana at the cognitive level applied to daily life.
See, jnana applied to the daily life, you should be able to see sarvam khalidam brahma or vasudeva sarvam iti. That is the jnana. Anything short of that, you cannot call it as a jnana.
That's why I quoted Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam. In spite of that verse, why would you deny such a person does not have the ultimate jnana?
See, the one who is doing Brahmarpanam Brahma Havi is the one who is doing Brahma Arpanam, is giving to Brahma, and everything is in Brahma. There his jnana of Brahma is a Brahma Upasana, not the Brahma as a Chaturmuja Brahma, but Brahma as a Upasyam, or to be a place of Upasana. There he is seeing that all of them as Brahman only. Even though he is dying, then he is doing the action. While doing the action, he is having the attitude that even though all of them are Brahman as per the Shastra, I am doing this thing. So when he is doing that, see, the moment jnana is really endowed on one person, he is a jnani where he has nothing to do. That Sthitaprajna se kya bhasha has described it in very, very unambiguous way. So there is no way that verse from the second chapter, that 61 to 72, whatever may be the definition of Krishna has given as a Sthitaprajna, is the Sthitaprajnasya bhasha. Whereas Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi is the attitude with which one should do that, the devotion towards the Brahman. And this is what I told, that when you are doing the devotion, you have to see that in the Saligrama or in the Shivalinga or in the Yajna, the food you eat, wherever you want to see that Pratibodha Viditam, where that Bodham whenever comes, that Bodham is of Brahman. That attitude should be the one with which will make you release from your samsara. Otherwise, anything short of that will be holding on you to the samsara. And there will be dukkha to that level. Whatever may be, it is a lesser dukkha or a greater dukkha. But you will not be free of dukkha, and if you have that, short of that knowledge that ahameva idam sarvam, that knowledge has to come. I am the one which is everything here.
Pratibodha, when you say pratibodha viditam matam, that's fine. But in sleep, where is pratibodha?
Sleep also you have a bodham. Otherwise you should be a dead person.
That I know. Of your lack of consciousness there, or you come back to memory and say, yeah, I slept well. I understand that. Pratibodha viditam matam amritam. When you say pratibodham, it is not sleep that is mentioned there. Am I right?
No,
And
sleep,
anyway, I think
there is a bodham in the sleep. There is a bodham in the sleep. Aham asmi. That aham asmi or I am there is not verbalized there in that, because none of the functions work. That is why it becomes a memory or pratyabhijna when you come up. The memory to come, that when the memory to come, that aham, I was there, I knew nothing. I knew nothing can be said only a person who knows that nothingness. But that nothingness is not a knowledge, but it is a statehood, which is known on waking, because all the verbal activities happens only in the waking.
Thank you, Bindu. I just put the questions to put a spoke in the wheel. You know that this disagreement with the truth, what the limitation of language, that we can't, only when we stop running a race, that is the race of thoughts and concepts. I would say concepts, C-O-N hyphen septs, can perhaps release us from this ill illusions. So I think we have to stop the race of these thoughts and these concepts, and perhaps then only we'll win it. I just put this for others to just join in. Thank you, Bindu.
Thank you, Nitya. It's really valuable for us to listen to you and Bindo speak together. Ravati, do you want to go ahead?
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste.
The upasana, doing upasana, there is no kanksha of phala. No, we don't expect the results in upasana.
There are two types of upasana, with result and without result. Where sarva karmarpalam pranati karomi samastam aparadam kshamaswa jagatpate, or kayena vacha manasendriyarva abhyatmanava prakriti swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayana yeti samarpayami. All those where you are samarpanam or dedication or devotion to the altar or the place where you worship, in that case there is no desire. You are surrendering, including your desire to the devoted place. That upasana is superior to the upasana where that, I want Brahmaloka, I want the Devaloka, I want the Prutraloka, even the Indraloka, or I want to become Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyakarna upasana is one. There are a lot of upasanas, including Hiranyagarbha upasana, given in the Upanishads, especially in the Brihadaranya, Chandogya, and all those places. You will find that. So where you will find these upasanas are not going to give you the jnana which is releasing you from the avidya.
And then in verse number 9, they are saying the upasana of without result. Is that so?
Yes, that's right. That is why they go into a darker place.
By doing
upasana with upasana with desires.
With desires. Yes. Then it's the meaning of avantara phala vedam is the meaning. Yes?
Right.
Yes. Thank you.
So again, it would be lovely if anyone does have something they want to speak about from this class. I actually have two things I'd like to say, Bindaji. One of them relates to the last class where, because of my work, I couldn't be here, but I really appreciated and was very happy listening to the part where you just briefly stated about how the mind, that part of what the mind is that this idea of separation, of that I'm somebody, I'm an individual, is born. You used different words than that, but it occurs. And then that same, that same, somebody, thinks it has to do something to get out of that situation and redeem itself. Again, those are my words, but, I thought that was just very clear. So I wondered if, that's the whole problem, is the mind. And so when I'm listening to you speak about, let me just think of the word I want to say, renunciation. What comes to me is that the mind is the only thing that needs to be renounced and then everything's taken care of. But I wonder what you would say to the way I articulated this.
You're right. But the most difficult part is how to renunciate mind with mind. That becomes an issue. It is like removing a thorn with another thorn. So you have to train your mind to become no mind. That is the most difficult part, and it has been very clearly mentioned by Gaudapada Acharya in the Karika, where the mind will become still. The tendency for the mind will be to go back to sleep, where even when it comes to Amani Bhava state, and then or else the mind will wander again. So when the mind goes to Amani Bhava or the sleep, you have to wake him up, or wake you up your mind. And when the mind is now trying to move around, na chalayet, it should not be allowed. It should not be allowed to move around. That means the mind should be still, not wandering, at the same time not getting into a slumber and sleep. And that an alert mind only can grasp the awareness, our true nature. That awareness is always there, but the mind is what you call cloud, which is prohibiting the sun from shining and we knowing the sun. That is what is the most important aspect. It is our own mind. We have so much of inhibitions in our mind, so much of preconceived notions, so much of Shastra and, learnings, philosophies. We read so many books, so many philosophers, so many methodologies of explanation. I'm not saying they are not readed, but once you know that there is a striking a chord, like a symphony with your heart or your mind, from the philosophy, whichever one you are reading, that philosophy should be your prime philosophy, and you should not waver from that and allow any other philosophy to come in between and collude you. I've told this to Yash when he was conducting so many other classes here, that you are not doing justice by doing this, bringing so many other philosophies into it and then losing track of what you want to achieve. So that is what we have to be all careful about it. Which philosophy will be the symphony for you, you have to decide, because that will become the song of your life. Only you can find out what is the song which makes your life meaningful.
I really like that. Yeah, the singing of the song. Yeah. So I thought it was really beautiful just to build on this, or really pertinent. A week or two back when Prakash asked you a question that was related to practice, and you did speak a little more than usual about certain methods of stilling the mind. And so I just want to say that, what I've been thinking about the last couple of classes with you is that, this is essential one way or another to at least get a hint of what it even means to have at least a quiet, if not still mind. And once that's recognized, and this is sort of a question about the way Advaita would agree or not, is that having that taste of a still mind in the early stages really was through meditation, although then it was still, I don't know how to say this. I didn't really get that could be myself. But the way that I keep looking at Mandukya for myself is that there's that key point. The fact that deep sleep keeps being pointed at, to me, is an indication that this should be a very, very deep inquiry that ultimately can give one that direct glimpse of what it is to have no subject object happening. And I wonder, I notice people don't really stick with the pursuing the deep sleep indications out of Mandukya. And I wonder if you would agree how, it's one of the strongest pointers I see in anything that you ever speak about as something that someone could pursue.
I always consider the analysis of the waking, dream and deep sleep as the most successful and most effective tool for our detaching ourselves from the ego mind, ego, body, mind and everything. But we will be with a witness mind where we can even witness our ego, and that witness can identify itself present in the waking, dream and deep sleep. Once we know that they are objects, mean they are objectifiable for the witnessing mind, the witnessing mind should abandon that. The easiest in them to abandon is dream, because we have been doing that in our waking. But there is no much difference between dream and waking only when you know the analysis or proper investigation into both of them. So in the one brush, they can remove both waking and dream with the same logic. Having done that, the problem with the unknown deep sleep, how do I deny that or objectify is that because I don't know what is deep sleep myself from the point of view of the waker, nor from the point of view of the witness. At least from the witness point of view, I can objectify along with dream and waking, but what it is my experience in the deep sleep is very difficult for the mind or even for the witness to objectify. This is the place where the no mind state, achieving that in waking, will help us to understand what is our deep sleep. That no mind state is possible only in waking. In deep sleep, we are attaining no mind by default, because that is our default status that we are achieving. We can't do that in dream because we are not in control of our dream. But in the waking, we are having the other faculties of intellect and logic with which we can negate neti one by one, and a state of mindlessness or a deep sleep similar state of mind where the mind becomes still or no mind is achieved through the neti, where the bhata samanyatakarana or where the bhata takes place, and the one which is being negated also has to be negated in the end. And what remains at the end is the witness with the no mind. That no mind is the no mind which we are talking as the experience of the deep sleep also. Deep sleep and dream, we are pushed into it helplessly or by nature or by default. But to achieve a deep sleep state in the waking is possible only through Neti Neti. And for Neti Neti, first we have to attend that witness condition. Then only the Neti Neti will become effective as a witness who is doing the Neti Neti. And then when you are in that mindless state, by the knowledge of objectifying subject and the subject object, both when it is getting negated, you are in a state of mindlessness in waking, but you can't call it as waking, you can't call it as dream, you can't call it as deep sleep. You are in abiding in yourself. That state is the state where there is no comparison or no two for that. There is only one. Ekatvam anuvashyata. The word which is used in the Upanishad is that experiential seeing of oneness where there is no two. That is the state which we will be achieving in that process. Any amount of mental probing with I am the self who is doing that or with the mind active, you will not reach to the Ekatvam. That has to be achieved when you drop everything, including your own subjective nature of I am the subject who is doing that. This is the way in which one has to get into that state. For that, meditation is the initial stage where you will be able to sharpen your intellect and even tame your mind to a large extent. But they are all in the beginning stage. People who are not habituated to controlling the mind, these are all the best techniques, meditation, mindfulness, and methodologies like, the the Sula Sushma Sharira Avastha or this thing, Panchavosha Viveka, the 5 bodies. Yeah, all those things will be helpful. But when you come to personalized experience, it is only Jagrat Swapna Sushupti or the waking dream and deep sleep. Negated, you become the witness. Then that witness uses the Neti Neti to even negate the subjective nature of the mind to become a no-mind state.
Thank you. It's totally a delight for me to listen to the way you speak about these things and make it so clear. It's a real gift to be here with you. I'll drop my discussion with Bindo now. Really, if there's anyone else who would like to share yourselves with Bindo on these topics related to Isha, you could see my discussion went a little bit farther than just directly the text of the mantras, but it related. So we'll give it a little time here to see if anyone else would like to come up during this room.
Super. Sorry. Now it should be good. Can you hear me now?
Indeed, we can hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So I want to make use of this opportunity. So Binduji, my question is, I've been listening this, and one of the things also you touched is there are so many philosophies. Find out where does your heart or the space in which the thoughts appear and disappear. It is like having the reverberation and fine tuning. It is good. But you also mentioned there is infinite varieties of possibilities and learnings and teachers and textbooks and chapters and so many things. But fundamentally, the lens I generally put is, fortunately from the past couple of years, only one lens I put to see anything. And fortunately for me, this synced with me very well, that Nisargadatta Maharaj statement, look, even to know the validity of anything else, you should know your reality. If only the space or whatever the I amness, the reality you have to see first, only then anything, whether it is real or unreal also you can know. So I see whether it is, and I don't read any, actually unfortunately I have an aversion for Bhagavad Gita. I mean, I just never liked it from the past 15-20 years because I don't understand it at all. But this statement that first find out your reality, which is surrounding your thoughts or the space, I see anything and everything only from this point of view. So my question is there any potential mistake in this point of view? I adamantly stick. First, I have to know my reality before I know, and even if there is 1,000 other philosophies, it is none of my business. Like, I don't know. The only thing I know is the Jairam, the personalities and the thoughts this Jairam has got, and maybe a little bit of I'm trying to stay empty, stay still, stay away from this personality. So if I have this approach and adamantly stay here, am I missing anything? By not reading Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita and all those awesome textbooks, which even you are highly regarding. So that is my question, because after 5 years I don't want to repent. Oh my God, I should have read all these Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita and all these awesome books, then I would have got clarity quicker. Or is it adamantly okay to stay in this stillness, not even Bhagavad Gita, not even Upanishad, not even any of those extra things?
Yes. Nisargadatta Maharaj, whom I have met in the years 79 and 80,
No way.
as
Okay.
I have uncategorically, clearly, or whatever words I don't know the word which is there. He has always been hitting the bullseye in all his statements. And if it has rung a bell with you, and if it is clear to you what he is saying, and if you are able to come to that, what the Upanishad Gita says is also not different, but the language may be different. That is why you are finding it difficult too, because one is Sanskrit, second is you have not been exposed to in a local language. It is there in Tamil, so a lot of people are talking, but I don't know how excellent are there in the Tamil language. But there are a lot of them, especially Swami, whom I heard is Paramarthanandji is there, then Swami. There are so many of them in the tradition who have been teaching in Tamil language also. But directly to the point, bullseye, Nisargadatta Maharaj has said, Ramana Maharshi has said, and if Ramana Maharshi or Nisargadatta Maharaj has struck a chord with you, you don't have to look no further. That is all what you needed. But at the end of the whole thing, even if you hold on to it, as Nisargadatta Maharaj says, unless you know yourself, ahameva idam sarvam, I am everything here. I am the one who is in everything and everything is in me. Until that knowledge strikes in us, and that has to become your reality. That is the reality he is talking about. He is not talking about anything which is outside you. It is talking about your own reality, which is the reality of everything. Ekameva sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. Truth is only one. The learned may call it in different names, but the truth is only one. So whether it is Nisargadatta Maharaj, Ramana Maharshi or Upanishad or anything has been given, nothing is wrong with you. You are